the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Rao, and today I wanted to feature one of my builds here. This is a 69 AMX. Not a big surprise there. Got a number of these, but this one has a different story, and it really made me laugh as I knew AMT did the originals. The annuals were sold in AMT boxes, and I've been on eBay for a long time now, since 2001, and I bought a lot of models off of eBay, but sometimes you get a little too excited and get a little too ahead of the game there, and I saw this one on eBay and I'm like, oh great, but a lot of times I look at eBay and it's at night, especially now. I'll do it at night right before I go to bed. I'll be on my iPad and I'll be thumbing through, but this was back on my desktop days. I was looking this one over and I got super excited when I saw this model kit for an AMT 69 AMX, and it was buy it now for $5. So I got super excited. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, $5? That's a deal. You know, somebody's going to jump on it. And so it's like, I got to have it. I got to have it. So I hit the buy it now, and I'm like, oh, that's great. I got it. I've scored it. That's the deal of a century. So I was super excited, and I started to read the ad a little further, and I noticed something that I didn't quite notice before. If you notice, my fingers are a little big. I missed the part where it wasn't 1/25th scale. It's the 1/43 scale one. So my excitement was over fairly quickly. So I realized, well, I screwed up. Oh well. $5 isn't going to hurt me, plus a little bit of shipping and whatnot. So for, I think it was like $10 or $12 after shipping, you know, this showed up at my door. So it's like, all right, what do I do with it? Well, might as well build it. But there she is. And came out pretty good. And, you know, wasn't quite the car I wanted it to be. And eventually I did get my other one. Zoom out a little bit and move that one in there. I wasn't too focused on having the exact green on this one, but I just detailed it out and painted it, turned it into a quick build. But I knew I wanted to build a big bad green car with the saddle interior. So I did this one, and I just used regular Testors green. And the stripes are actually W30 stripes for an Oldsmobile, and they just happen to be the right size. If you recognize them, they go along the flanks, the sides of an Oldsmobile. But I'm like, it's a pretty accurate thing, so I'll just use those, put them on there, and then white line the tires, and just had a little bit of fun with it. But this is my only 1/43rd scale model car, so I do have a smaller scale, and then the bigger scale 1/25th. So I thought I'd share that little story with you, and got a kick out of it. When, you know, I laugh about it now, but initially I was like, I got too excited, hit the buy it now, and I didn't read the ad entirely. So I was learning, so that's kind of funny. And speaking of learning, this one, kind of the same deal. You know, was watching for them and didn't get too many of these popping up at the time, especially in the early days. The older model kits didn't pop up as often, but when they did, some people fought over them, but you could get them fairly cheap. I remember one of them being, I bought a mint unbuilt 71 Challenger MPC for $79, and can't touch that today. Now built-ups are going for that or more, but it was a mint unbuilt kit, and I was super excited about it. But the value was in the fact that it was an unbuilt mint kit. And eventually, when the values broke $100, I ended up selling it for like $125 on eBay. I wish I'd kept it and built it, but I ended up buying rebuilders instead because they were much cheaper at the time. But so anyway, that's a little stories of my eBay purchases. But we'll get to this one, you know, the 69 AMX. There's some interesting things about the AMX. And it's a car I really like. And as you can tell, you know, a number of them. But this one started off as the race version. That was the much easier one to get, the Shirley race car, the Dragon Lady. And but at the time I didn't know that you couldn't build it stock. And then once I got it, and like, okay, I got the wrong chassis, and the more I researched, I found out wrong interior tub, and the hood had no holes in it. So that's a resin hood from Missing Link. And then I eventually got a stock interior with the right seats and headrests, and the decals are Keith Marks. So I detailed it up, and I used the 68 Firebird mirror from the Revell 68 Firebird, which looks really good. But I eventually traded out some of the stuff and detailed out the engine, and got the stock intake and air cleaner, and changed out the whole chassis for the stock molded in exhaust one. And the bumpers weren't in great shape, so I added the chrome strip molding that the big bad cars had, and the painted bumpers. And then on the back bumper, I added the bumper guards, so those are scratch built, and then painted the whole bumper. And then right around the back, it's all bare metal foil. So a lot of work was done to convert this one and finish this one up, and to build it like the big bad cars. But and then for $69, the big bad options, well, it was a $43 option to order it in any of the big bad colors, which is big bad green, big bad blue, and big bad orange. And it was roughly 750 cars, I think. I think the green is the most common. Green or orange, they're both 250, 280 cars made. The big bad blue is actually the rarer one, which is barely 200 cars. Don't have the figures in front of me. But another thing of the interesting facts of the AMX that made me laugh and I enjoyed. When the original concept car came out, the show car, it was a fiberglass bodied, and it had a rumble seat in the back. If you had seen the concept car or the pictures of the concept car that they had in '66, it had what they called a ramble seat, not a rumble seat, a ramble seat. You know, playing off the Rambler name. But that didn't make production, but it was a fiberglass car, which I thought that was interesting. And when they decided to rush it into production, because the show car got a whole lot of excitement, and they were already coming out with the Javelin. They had planned to actually make the Javelin, which made production, and the Javelin was out 4 or 5 months before the AMX. So the AMX came out later. But sales didn't quite take off with the AMX. They were hoping to do about 15,000 units a year. Didn't do that good. It's right around, I think, 5,000 for '68 and like 7,000 or 8,000 for '69. And I know '70 didn't make 5,000 units, but the two-seat was short-lived. But it was really, they were hoping to get people into showrooms, and that it did do. A lot of people had to come into the showrooms and look at the car. Another thing that made me laugh with the AMX was it actually won some awards for its dashboard. You know, you don't think about it today, but that was the first all injection molded plastic dashboard, and they marketed it as a safety item instead of, you know, a lot of steel and chrome. And there was padded dashes, but there was a lot of steel and chrome. But the '68 Javelins and '68 AMXs was the first time a full dashboard was molded in ABS plastic, or injection molded plastic, which a lot of the interiors of a lot of the AMCs were molded in plastic. But this is the first one. Didn't realize that at first, but got a kick out of that. But it's quite an interesting car, and I really like it. I don't think I would buy one in '69 or '68 if I walked into an AMC. I actually prefer the Javelin over the AMX. I just think they look good, but the AMX is a great car. So I really like both of them, but if I was a buyer, I probably wouldn't buy either one of them. I'd probably end up buying in '69. I think I would probably buy a Boss 302 or Boss 429 if money was no object. It's hard to pick one. So I'd be curious to find out what your favorite cars would be if you had, all the money. If money was no object, what would you buy in '69, or what would you buy in '68? And but kind of make it where you can only buy one. If you can only buy one car, which one would it be? Money no object options. So I don't know if I can answer that. I'd have to put some serious thought into it. But I figured I would show off this AMX. You saw my pink AMX, so I'd show off this one and show off the little one that goes along with it, even though it's not the same color. But I had to custom mix this color to get it as close as I can, and I like how it came out. The other one's a bit dark, but I didn't want to just throw it away or turn around and resell it on eBay. I'm like, I got it. I learned. Let's paint it. And so I built that one too. But thanks for tuning in, and thanks for subscribing. And I appreciate everybody who comments on my videos. I read them all, and I reply to them as much as I can. But thank you for tuning in, and you guys have a wonderful day.